Welcome to The Explainer. So, the age of AI-powered coding is absolutely here. You can literally prompt a whole application into existence in just a few minutes. But today, we're going to talk about that crucial next step, the one people often forget. How do you get that brilliant app live for the rest of the world to actually see? All right, so picture this. You've done it. You used one of those incredible AI tools. You generated the code for a brand new web app. It looks fantastic running right there on your computer, but how do you get it from your screen to a real public URL that you can actually share with people? And this, my friends, is the world of deployment. It's really where the rubber meets the road. Now, it might sound a little technical, but trust me, choosing the right path here, right from the beginning, can save you so many headaches later. It's what separates a fun little prototype from a real professional product. Okay, let's dive in. So, to really get a handle on your options, you first have to understand that there are basically two different worlds, two fundamental types of platforms that have popped up in this new AI-powered landscape. They fall into two pretty distinct camps. You've got the builders and you've got the hosters. So on one side, you have the AI builders. These are the tools that help you generate the code in the first place. Their entire focus, their whole reason for being, is to help you create and iterate on your ideas as fast as humanly or, artificially possible. Then on the other side, you have dedicated hosting platforms. These are built from the ground up for one thing, to run your finished app reliably, securely, and super fast for real users all over the world. And you know what? This analogy makes the difference just crystal clear. Think of an AI builder like one of those meal kit services. It gives you all the pre-measured ingredients, the easy-to-follow instructions. It helps you make something amazing, really fast. The dedicated hosting platform, that's the professional restaurant kitchen. It's all about the heavy-duty infrastructure built for performance, consistency, and serving thousands of customers night after night. So here are some of the big names you're going to run into in each of these categories. In the builder camp, you've got tools like Replit and Bolt. For dedicated hosting, you've got giants like Netlify and Google Cloud. And hey, notice Vercel, they're actually playing in both worlds, which is pretty interesting. They have their V0 tool on the builder side and their world-class hosting platform on the other. Which of course brings up a super important question. If you use an AI builder to make your app, and a lot of them offer some kind of hosting, do you even need a separate service? I mean, are these tools competitors or are they actually designed to work together? Well, here's the crucial point. For most developers, they're partners, not competitors. The standard industry best practice way to do this is to use the AI builders for what they're amazing at, which is rapid creation and prototyping. And then you push that finished code to a dedicated host for the final live version. Let's take a look at a perfect example of this. Bolt.new is this incredibly powerful AI builder. It can generate a full-stack app just from a single prompt. But they don't even try to be a world-class hosting company. Instead, their tool actually automates the whole deployment process for you, pushing your code directly over to Netlify. And we see the exact same pattern with another builder called Lovable. Their tool is called a GPT engineer. You build with their AI, and what does it do? It pushes the final code to GitHub, all set up and ready to be deployed automatically on Netlify. They see Netlify as the ideal home for the thing you just built. Okay, but what about a tool like Replit? They offer that super easy one-click hosting, right? Well, while just clicking Run to go live is fantastic for a quick test, there are definitely some trade-offs. Compared to a dedicated platform like Netlify, it can be slower because the server might go to sleep on a free plan, and it can get more expensive pretty quick once real users start showing up. Netlify is built for exactly this, using a global CDN to make sure your site is blazing fast for everyone everywhere. So up until now, we've mostly been talking about the front end, the visual part of your app that users actually see and click on. But what happens when your app needs more than just a pretty face? What happens when it needs a brain and a memory? I mean, think about it, right? If you build an AI chatbot, you're probably going to want to save the conversation history. If you build an AI image generator, you'll definitely want to let users create accounts and save their favorite images to a personal gallery. And all of that requires a database to store information and an authentication system to manage all those users. And that right there is the key difference between a static site, which is really just a bunch of files, and a truly dynamic app that actually interacts with data. When your app needs to be dynamic, the choice of where to host it becomes a lot less about just front-end speed and way more about back-end power. Which brings us to a showdown between a front-end specialist and a full-stack powerhouse. Okay, so this is where a choice between platforms like Netlify and Firebase gets super clear. For those dynamic AI apps we were just talking about, like chatbots that need to save history, Firebase from Google is totally purpose-built for this stuff. It has an amazing built-in database called Firestore and a free and ridiculously easy authentication system. Netlify is still the king of speed for front ends, but to get that same database functionality, you'd have to rig up an external service, and that just adds more complexity. So I know we've covered a lot of ground here. Builders, hosters, front ends, back ends, it's a lot. With all these options, how do you actually pick the right path for your project without getting totally lost? Well, the good news is we can boil all of this down into a really clear step-by-step decision map. Honestly, it just comes down to a simple three-question framework. First, ask yourself, is my app just a user interface? Maybe a simple wrapper for an AI API? If the answer is yes, go with Netlify. You just can't beat its speed and that awesome free tier. Second, does my app need to save data or have user accounts? If yes, then choose Firebase for its integrated, powerful backend. And finally, if you're just at the idea stage and you just want to see if something works as fast as humanly possible, then just start inside an all-in-one AI builder like Replit or Bolt. And really, that's it. For something like 90% of the AI app projects people are building out there today, that simple framework is going to point you in exactly the right direction. Following it will save you a ton of time, money, and yeah, a lot of technical headaches. And that leaves us with one final, kind of provocative thought to chew on. Right now, there's a pretty clear handoff from building to hosting. But as these AI agents get more and more powerful, capable of not just writing code, but configuring servers, managing databases, even fixing their own bugs, is that line just going to disappear? We might be heading toward a future where you just describe your app and the AI handles everything else, from the first line of code all the way to serving a million users. The choices we just talked about, they might become a thing of the past.